Wait, wait. Don't talk to me till I've had my morning coffee. Hold on. Mm, oh. How many times have you said that and you've meant it? Okay. So I hope you're sitting down because your morning routine, that little cup of happiness that you clutch every day like your life depends on it, well, it's in real danger. In fact, this might be the worst news for coffee lovers in the last 50 years. No, Starbucks isn't going bankrupt. It's far worse than that. Now, Arabica coffee prices have just hit their highest level in over a decade. And the reason? Well, sadly, it's not just inflation. So we're talking about a perfect storm of climate disasters, political chaos, disease, and economic sabotage. All of those are aimed directly at your cup of joe. And if you think this is just a temporary spike, well, hey, think again. Industry insiders are using words like panic, collapse, even mass extinction of coffee growing regions. One executive at a major US chain literally said, "We're in uncharted territory, and this could change coffee as we know it." So the real question is this: how much longer will you be able to afford your daily fix? And what will it taste like when you eventually do? So let's break this down before your barrister starts charging you $10 for a plain black drip. So, first, let's go straight to the farms because this is where the whole crisis actually begins. Arabica beans, the higher quality ones that make up most of your favorite specialty blends, well, they're extremely picky. They only grow in a narrow belt around the equator between 60 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit at high elevations, and that's it. You can't just plant coffee beans anywhere you like. But climate change is wrecking that Goldilocks zone. So, according to a report by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, half of the world's coffee growing land could become completely unusable by 2050. So, let me say that bit again: half, half. And we're not just talking about Brazil or Colombia. Countries across Central America, Africa, and Southeast Asia, where millions depend on coffee for their livelihoods, while they're watching their crops literally wither. One farmer in Honduras actually said, "The rain used to come on time. Now we get drought for months and then the fields flood. We don't know how to grow anymore." Now, these extreme weather shifts have caused a big domino effect. Coffee yields have plummeted. Diseases like coffee leaf rust are spreading fast. And pests like the coffee borer beetle, well, they're surviving longer seasons due to warmer temperatures. And sadly, even flavor is affected. So scientists have shown that changing climate conditions can increase the bitterness, the acidity, and reduce those sweet chocolatey notes that we all crave. And I certainly do. So the result? Coffee scarcity. And obviously, when supply drops, prices spike. In fact, Arabica futures recently hit $4.32 per pound. Now, whether you know this or not, that's the highest for over a decade. So, for context, anything over $3 is considered danger zone for the industry. And we are well into danger zone. We've blown well past that. So, here's the kicker: even if you're not a coffee snob, the bad news is that cheap coffee isn't safe either. Robusta, now that's the lower quality bean used in instant coffee and energy drinks, well, that's under pressure too, thanks to droughts in Vietnam and shipping bottlenecks in Indonesia. Now let's leave the farm and talk about trade because things have got even more ridiculous here. So, as if climate disaster wasn't enough, coffee is now tangled in global politics. This year, the US imposed new tariffs on coffee imports from Southeast Asia, specifically Vietnam and Indonesia. Now, these tariffs range from 20% to 32%, depending on the bean. What's the translation? Well, your roasters and importers are now paying up to a third more just to get the beans into the country. And you better believe that they're going to pass that cost on to the next person in line. Guess who that is? It's you. You're right. So coffee companies are raising prices left and right. There's no doubt about that. Bigby's coffee co-founder literally told Yahoo Finance that panic has set in across the industry and prices will continue to rise. Now, it's not just a seasonal trend, it's the new normal, and the instability isn't stopping. So, any shift in foreign policy, and say a new sanctions list or a flare up in the Red Sea, that could disrupt bean flow for weeks, even months. So now we've got collapsing farms and collapsing trade. What's next? Well, here's something you probably haven't noticed yet. Your favorite coffee options are quietly disappearing. Now, it starts with small growers. With climate challenges mounting and profit margins shrinking, while thousands of independent coffee farms are going under, sadly. Now, that's bad news for variety. There's no doubt about that, because once those small farms have gone, or giant coffee conglomerates sweep in and they monopolize the entire market. So think Nestle, Peet's, and Starbucks. Now, this means fewer origin options, fewer flavor profiles, and more of the same generic blends because that's what's easiest to mass produce. So if you like that single origin Rwandan light roast with citron notes, well, you better stock up because it won't be around next year. Now we're watching the Netflixication of coffee. The small boutiques are dying and the big dogs, well, they're tightening control. So, all right, just when you thought it couldn't get worse, it can. Let's talk about the health warnings. Now, look, coffee, we all know, has got tons of health benefits. It's linked to lowering risk of Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, type 2 diabetes, and much more. But recently, some dark clouds have started to form over your favorite morning ritual. So, a recent study out of Sweden found that certain brewing methods like French press and espresso, well, they may leave higher concentrations of harmful compounds which can raise LDL cholesterol. Meanwhile, here in California, regulators have been revisiting Proposition 65, which at one point tried to label coffee with cancer warnings due to trace amounts of acrylamide. Now, that's a compound that's created during roasting. Now, while most of these warnings were rolled back, the debate certainly isn't over. New studies keep emerging, questioning the long-term effects of daily coffee consumptions at high volumes. Oh dear, I'm in trouble. And let's not forget, sugar-filled coffee drinks equals blood sugar spikes. Late afternoon caffeine equals sleep disruption. And daily independence on coffee equals withdrawal headaches and irritability. Now, is this all enough to give up your favorite brew? Probably not. But it is enough to keep one eye open when ordering your next triple venti half sweet oat milk caramel macchiato with extra whip. So if you're starting to wonder whether we're heading for a full on coffee apocalypse, you're not alone. From climate changes and tariffs to shrinking variety and health concerns, it's becoming harder and more expensive just to enjoy a simple cup of coffee. And here's the deal, this isn't going to go away. The trends that I just broke down for you, well, sadly, they're accelerated, which means every future cup could cost a lot more. It could taste different or even come with a warning label. Now, if you've made it this far, I know you care about real financial issues, not just your wallet, but also how global trends affect your daily life. So if you're finding these videos informative, welcome to the Financial Freedom Network, the channel that exposes the truth behind your money, your credit, and your future. So do me a favor, guys, smash that like button, subscribe for more breaking updates like this, and don't forget to check out a future video on how global food prices are quietly destroying the middle class. It's deeply connected to this topic, and I promise you, it will open your eyes even further. So, what's the bottom line? Well, the worst news for coffee lovers is here, and it's not just higher prices. It's a system wide shakeup that's changing where coffee comes from, how it's produced, how it's priced, and even, sadly to say, how healthy it is. So the days of cheap, delicious, guilt free coffee may be numbered unless we start paying attention to what's really going on behind the scenes. So, once again, thanks for watching and stay grounded, folks. I'll see you guys on the next one.